They just don't care. I mean, how do you get executives and then this whole chain of people to get up there and say mercury's good for your kid and to cover up all the bad things that are happening? How did it get so evil? What's going on?
Well, I think the number one driving force for CEOs of companies and head of the Pediatrics Association and all this is money. They're buying these people. They're putting large amounts of money into their pocket. The doctors that are they're experts and top people at Harvard and Yale and Columbia, they are approached and given contracts to do fake research for these pharmaceutical companies, and they can't resist the money. It's just too much. It's too lucrative. Some of these people are making millions of dollars off of it.
And now they've done the fake research, so now they're part of the crew. They're now compromised. They're now defending it because they don't want to be discredited.
Exactly. And so the real physician, the real researcher who's doing this research that's demonstrating this damage, he's told, well, you can publish in your journals, but don't ever approach the media. There's been numerous cases of these people publishing these articles or trying to get them published in journals and having the pharmaceutical company approach the journal and have the article removed. This has happened numerous times. Very good research, carefully done research. But if it shows harm of a pharmaceutical product that's making them billions of dollars, they will use their influence on that journal to have that article removed. Now, some journals are beyond that, won't do that, but there's a lot that will, and a lot of them are the journals that physicians are reading. So the physician reads these articles, he thinks it's in a prestigious journal, and he believes it. He will not do the homework that takes deeper reading, deeper understanding, and find out he's being lied to. So they Paul parrot this nonsense to their patients. And it's just like this Gardasil thing. I can't believe that physicians see an 11-year-old girl and 10-year-old girl and tell that mother that child needs to have a Gardasil vaccine or she's going to get cervical cancer. Now, number one, he doesn't know anything about HPV virus if he says that, because it's sheer nonsense, and he doesn't know anything about the vaccine. Now, there's been almost 100 girls have died from that vaccine. There's been thousands that have been harmed. They continue to be harmed. And
the insert says it doesn't even protect you from HPV. I want to shift gears the time we have left to talk about Obamacare. Now they admit the death panels. They admit VA secret death list. Ezekiel Emanuel admits it's about getting rid of old people. An article he wrote, It's Time to Die by 75, The Case for Killing Granny, 21 new taxes, bankrupting poor people, payroll taxes on poor people, rich companies exempt. I mean, such a monumental screw job, and the Democrats and Republican leadership defend it. I mean, is that not a manifest conviction of the power structure that they would bring in this eugenics-based system?
Yeah, I mean, the Obamacare is just an absolute outrage. It was a fraud from the very beginning. It was sold on fraudulent data. The people who really knew about medical health care, who came forward and said that the numbers you're quoting are false, they're not real. Most of these people that are uninsured are people who have chosen on their own not to do it because they don't want to spend the money. They're young, they're healthy, and they don't see any reason to do it. Well, they inflated the number even further than that to give the public the impression there were all these tens of millions of people that were uncovered, and the government was going to do the benevolent thing and make sure they were covered. Well, they lied from the very beginning. Oh, you can keep your doctor. Oh, you can go to any hospital you want to. You can keep your plan. They knew that the bill itself said none of that was true. The media covered for them, as always. You can always depend on the media to cover for these
And
people.
then Ezekiel Emanuel admitted on Fox News, we played the clip probably 20 times, I'm not going to play it again. He said, no, this is meant to wreck the old system. We're working with the insurance companies to do it. There'll be a few big ones left at the end, and they'll dole out government-controlled care. They admit they are trying to ruin the system, just like you said 4 years ago on this show, to kick all the old doctors in and bring in a bunch of foreign doctors that aren't even doctors.
Well, most of the people I know in medicine are saying, I can't wait to retire. I want to get out of it. I can't stand all this paperwork and control and regimentation and being forced to hurt my patients. they want out. And young people are not wanting to get in. So the answer is, and this is why the government's not worried about, bring in all these foreign doctors from hundreds of countries around the world who they've been practicing in socialized medicine. So they don't see anything wrong with it. They'll come here and practice in American socialized medicine because the system they operate in is in shambles, so they figure this has to be better until it ends up in shambles.
Yeah, that's like Californians fleeing to come to Austin and then try to take my guns and raise taxes and wreck everything. It's like they wreck one place and then they go to the next place to wreck it, and like a bunch of locusts, they just move to the next target.
Well, I've always said that we need report cards for the public because no one's paying attention that every one of these programs, every one of these socialist systems, every socialist country is in shambles, absolute shambles. And yet there has not been a single success report card of any of these systems, and we keep playing it out as if it's the utopian future, to be a progressive.
Absolutely. Stay there, Dr. Blaylock. BlaylockHealthChannel.com.
This hour brought to you by InfidelBodyArmor.com. When it hits the fan, don't be left without the body armor that will save your life. With prices starting at just $374.99 and ships free. Get yours at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Another major health threat, this one in Toledo, Ohio, where everybody in the entire city has been told not to drink the water.
Ohio's governor declaring a state of emergency.
Did you know that the average person uses about 80 to 100 gallons of water at home every single day? If there's a water emergency, will you be prepared?
Panicked residents forming long lines throughout the day.
We're here at a supermarket in Toledo. You can see the shelves empty where water once was.
To stay safe and healthy during a crisis, you must have access to safe, clean water. Water which will not be available at your local grocery store.
There's a mad dash on right now to stock up on supplies.
The ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system is a must-have for every modern, independently minded household. Protect your family's safety during an emergency. Go to InfoWarsStore.com today to purchase your ProPure Pro 1 G2.0 water filtration system or call 1-888-253-3139.
Curious about what comes next? Next is the feeling of vulnerability you get after you arrive home to discover your house has been ransacked by burglars. Fool the bad guys with a new improved fake TV. You asked for it, we listened, and we made our new fake TV 3 times brighter than our previous model. The brightness of our new fake TV is equivalent to a 40-inch TV. It simulates the color and motion of a real TV while you're away from home. And when burglars think someone is home watching television, they're likely to pass your house and move on to an easier target. The new, brighter fake TV is only $39.95 and includes free shipping. Go to faketv.com or call 1-877-5-FAKE-TV. That's 877-532-5388 or go to faketv.com. Fake TV, the burglar deterrent.
Well, we got some really bad news a few hours ago, and we just confirmed it with his wife. I'm going to talk about this at the start of the next hour. Dr. Stan Monteith, medical doctor, passed away this morning after battling cancer a long time. He is resting in peace with the Lord, and they don't want folks to call. They said if you want to write support or letters to the family, it's Radio Liberty, P.O. Box 969, and I guess that's SOQUEL, California, 95073. And he was just an amazing guy, and I don't think anybody had more total knowledge of what was going on and the medical tyranny and why they were doing it than Dr. Stan Monteith. I mean, he would do 5 hours of radio a day on over 100 stations around the country, including some of our affiliates, and it's a true loss. I don't know how to eulogize him at this point except fight back against the tyranny. I know even he was on about a few months ago while battling cancer, and we went and interviewed him a year ago, and he would have to go lay down for 20 minutes and get up and come talk to us. He was somebody that really cared about freedom. And I was just talking to Dr. Blaylock about why the enemy is so arrogant right now, juxtaposed to somebody like Dr. Stan Monteith. Dr. Blaylock, I know you've been on his show before, but specifically, can you repeat what you were saying to me during the break?
Well, Stan was a good friend of mine. I've been to his house, know his wife and his son. I was very close to Stan. He's a man of enormous virtue, honesty. He just loved this country, and he loved freedom, and he fought for it. He spent all his money on that radio station. He's just the most wonderful man that I've ever met. Just incredible, his whole family. So I'm really saddened by this. But what I was telling you, and Stan would, he liked when I would say these things, is that, it's said that a man is a socialist in direct proportion to his contempt for his fellow man. And that's what we see. These socialists, these central planners, the collectivists, have absolute arrogance. They see themselves as elites, that they should dominate and rule and design the world, and that people are nothing but useless, indolent, stupid cattle to be moved around like a chess piece. And people, unfortunately, too many, are allowing themselves to be treated this way. You live in a free country. You have an opportunity to save yourself, but people need to wake up. They need to read about socialism, communism, collectivism. They need to understand the words, the propaganda, how this works, and quit listening to the idiotic propaganda from the elitists themselves, because they're the ones who hammer this nonsense that, well, there's no one world conspiracy, there's no design for a world government. When they write about it ceaselessly, you can find it everywhere.
They've literally written thousands of books admitting their whole plan, but knowing the public isn't reading it and just hoping they call us liars and people won't believe us.
That's right. And they have the media. They're yap dogs to sit there and tell everybody, oh, yeah, it's just what David Rockefeller said. It's exactly what Brzezinski said. I tell people, look at two things. Brzezinski and Rockefeller and Kissinger right now, just recently, said we need to get behind this president. He's the best president that we could have. Brzezinski was the one who promoted choosing Obama for the presidency. Now, Brzezinski's not a stupid man. He's a very powerful man. He created the Trilateral Commission. He writes books, numerous books about geopolitical design.
Dr. Blaylock, the next hour is coming up. Do 5 more minutes with us, and I know you got to go, to finish up talking about the master plan and a little bit more about your good friend, Dr. Stan Monteith.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.